We are presented by WynnBET. Betting is a team sport. Bet together at WynnBET. Eric Allen here in Indianapolis at the NFL Scouting Combine with old friend Adam Caplan of SiriusXM. How are you, brother? This is
Good
great.
to see you, man.
It is great to be together. The festivities underway.
Yeah. Isn't it good to be back? I'm really grateful after what we've all been through in our country just to be back here. This is my 19th, and I love it. I was laughing. I was just doing radio before you and I got here. And I was saying how I've been here 19 years. I don't know any name of any streets. Seriously, I don't. I know I've heard of Capitol Avenue. I think this is where we are.
Yeah.
I just know where I am. I know where to go. There's nowhere I can't get downtown. I know where everything is because it's like the back of my hand. And the great thing about being down here is there's only like 4 streets.
That's true.
And you can walk everywhere. And as you know, the weather's been great this week.
This has been the best weather we've had.
How many is this for you?
I don't know 10? To be honest with you. It's been north at 10. It's probably closing in on 15 or so.
Yeah. It's wonderful, and it breaks my heart that it's going to move.
Where do you think it's going next year?
Nothing. I don't want to say anything's definitely going to happen where it's going to move, but it's going to be in LA at some point.
Yes.
But the league has opened it up. Several cities have bid, including Indianapolis, by the way. And let me just tell you this. I will
Could be Dallas too, right?
Yep. Jerry Jones would love to have it. There is not one NFL person that I respect that wants it to move. They all want it here. The scouts, personnel directors, general managers, coaches love it. It's so easy. Even the guys out west love it because they know it like the back of your hand.
Right.
It's just fantastic here. You got everything you want. And unfortunately, reality is the league, it's going to move at some point, and it can move as soon as next year. But it is what it is. We don't control that. I'm just glad that we're all back, and it's so much fun being here, I got to tell you. I didn't know that I'd miss it as much as I did. I'm kind of surprised that I'm getting a little sentimental because I just know it's going to move. But cover this business for 21 years, Eric. You just know the way that the league is. Look, the Super Bowl's on a rotation. I get it. The draft was. I'm old enough to remember when the draft would only be in Madison Square Garden and they announced it's going to move. Okay, great.
Right.
But this one's all about football. This is different from obviously being at the draft. I do miss it at MSG though. I used to go for many years.
Radio City was pretty cool too.
Yeah, and the Forum over there next to Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
And some of the things that I saw when Maurice Colorette was the last pick of the 3rd round, it erupted. The fans went out of their minds, and my friends who were Jet fans who remember, old enough to remember some of the craziness of the Jets drafts. But we fast forward to now, and I love my man Joe Douglas is doing a fantastic job building this thing up.
Look at you making the transitions.
No,
I think a lot of Jets.
I saw Joe yesterday. I loved it.
Did you?
Good to see him. Yeah, it's great.
What was your interaction like?
You know what? No, it's just basically, I can almost fill in the blanks because I know the way he thinks.
Yeah.
I knew this was coming. He said it right before the end of his media interview. Well, you know what? Robert and I are aligned. We're always going to build with the offensive defensive lines. That's his philosophy he got from Baltimore. And by the way, when he went to Philly, Howie Roseman had the same one. So it's just funny. Nothing changes. And that's the way you build. It always gives you a chance. If you build if you have depth on both lines and they're good players, you're halfway there. Now they have the quarterback. You just continue to build. It's Joe knows how to do it. You cannot build through the draft. I mean, you can't build through free agency. You got to build through the draft and supplement through free agency. That's what he's going to do.
I want to focus more on the draft, but let's talk free agency really quickly.
Sure.
Just the approach. What do the Jets have to get done? The legal tampering period begins March 14th. You're talking about free agency
Monday.
opens up March 16th.
Yeah.
You have financial flexibility, a little bit under $50 million under the salary cap. If you keep number 4 and number 10, then you got a lot, $11 million there.
Knowing Joe as I do, he's not going to spend anywhere to close to $50 million cap space. Now, they may extend a player or two if he feels that it's time to do it. But he'll be smart about it. Look, do they need help? Yeah. We'll get into kind of the depth in the draft in a minute. But you're not going to build your roster through free agency. But the good thing is for some of their needs, we were talking about this off there. Some of their needs they can meet through free agency, but free agency does set you up for the draft. But Howie Roseman, Joe's former boss, made a great point. You cannot think like, okay, well, we just fill this hole here in free agency. We don't need to get it at the draft. If you see an upgrade, you take it.
Right.
And I know Joe well enough to know that he's not going to pass up an upgrade for just because they had now quarterback. Okay, they're not drafting quarterback the first round. I think we know that.
That's safe to say.
Right. But if there's an upgrade in the second round, a position you think you're good, you got to take that. And that's just the way it is.
What's the sweet spot in terms of financially free agency? I mean, obviously you want to fill some needs, but I'm talking about value because if you're a player early, which the Jets can
Corey
be,
Davis, they're in deep
right,
with Corey. They got
right.
in early, and they
Carl,
look,
Carl Lawson,
yeah. And by
another
the way,
example.
if he's healthy, and I wasn't there the day he got hurt. Just talking to the Jets. Apparently, he was phenomenal before he got hurt. Now,
He was the best player in the field.
Achilles injury is tough to come back from, but he'll come back from it. So to get him back, we'll see how he does.
Yep.
For free agency, there's one guy, Emmanuel Agba, and then it's just a bunch of journeymen and mid-level guys. Agba's been on 4 teams. He's really good.
Okay.
He's a solid elite pass rusher, but he plays the run. He's just a good football player. But you're going to get it. And the good thing about the Jets for this draft is, and you talk about the draft capital, this is a good year to need a DN if you need one.
Yes.
Not a good year to need a quarterback. Thank goodness the Jets have Zach Wilson, because I'm telling you, EA, this is not a good year to need a quarterback. Not good for free agency and not good for the draft. In terms of, if you look for high-level guys, this is not your draft.
What do you think about possibly re-signing some of these guys in-house? Obviously, Braxton Berrios.
Yep, who's been a great out of nowhere.
He broke out last year. That speaks to the development of the coaching staff, but also him taking advantage of his opportunities.
He should have got the ball more.
Dynamic in the return game. If he doesn't reach agreement with the Jets, it's likely he's going to go out there and test the market. We'll have to see what happens. I'm really focused on the safety position for the Jets too, because LaMarcus Joyner got hurt.
Nickel, right?
Yeah, got hurt week 1 last year, so we didn't get an opportunity to really see him play. And then Marcus May, obviously an unrestricted free agent
towards
as well.
Achilles, right? May's got some interest out there.
Yeah,
that this is kind of what I hear from talking to other teams, because he's a guy's very talented. They just want to see how he comes back from his injury. And this is where medical is very important, as it is for the draft, by the way. This is the big part for folks out there. Medicals is super huge here to get correct information. But that's that's what this is about. But Berrios is obviously a priority for them. I know Joe Douglas well enough to know that you never walk away from talented players. Now you can't give him stupid money. I mean, this guy's coming out of nowhere and having this crazy interesting year, which no one expected. Now, now that they've put this on tape, can he duplicate that? And as the staff gets to know these players, that's another part of free agency that I don't think fans understand. When you have your own free agents, but you have a new staff, you don't have that much exposure to them. You have to learn them. And this is with Robert's staff now that they're back again. They use they say institutional knowledge. They have that tape. They were around these players, and now they kind of know, okay, they're around Joe Douglas, so they tell Joe, Rex Hogan, Joe's lieutenant, okay, this is what we saw, this is what we were from around him. They have the practice and game tape, and then they've got the reports, and they have to make a decision on what the money should look like.
Lorenzo Faticasi.
It's been a good story.
Man. Out of Connecticut, a real good run plugger. He's been good inside the room. He's got an expiring contract. And then
it's a mid-level free agent.
So we'll have to see what happens with him, of course. And LDT, who the Jets traded for mid-season. There you go. He played very well for the Jets. So
what a great dude. I'm sure Jet fans know the great humanitarian work. He's a special person.
Yeah.
One of the crazy scoops I had before that draft, whatever year it came out, I can't remember. I was talking to a good friend of mine then who was a scouting director. He said, man, the only problem with him is he played Canadian football as college. We don't know what he can do because the techniques are different. And I got to give Andy Reid and I'm going to guess John Dorsey was the GM of the Chiefs then. They did a great job of scouting him, and he's been a great story. And, he took the year off, obviously, for medical reasons to help doing some great work. And he's back. And, look, he's as long as he still wants to play, he's a little bit up there. But certainly depth of the offensive line, as Joe Douglas would tell you, Philly's probably the best. No one deeper on the offensive line. The Eagles are like 11 deep on the offensive line. Joe knows that, and he knows from his days with Baltimore, you got to have an offensive line.
No, that was eye-opening. It was eye-opening when the Jets and the Eagles were practicing this summer.
Oh, I was there for the 2 days.
Yeah. You could see what the Eagles were bringing to the table.
How about this? You guys will know because Joe will continue to address the offensive line.
Yep.
The Eagles have a rugby player who's one of the top 5 left tackles in the league. Jordan Mailata, I just met at the combine. I'm at the Super Bowl 6'8", 380.
I know he's a monster.
But you guys, you got to get your left tackle healthy. He's got to get his weight down. You got Vera Tucker's going to be a stud. Joe has to just keep building. He needs a couple more guys. He needs at least 2 guys.
And Connor McGovern played well last year at the center position. LDT could be back. We'll have to see what happens at free agency.
Yep, keep building.
Morgan Moses is another guy who came in and played well. He's up. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's get to the draft. Number 4, number 10 overall. 4 picks in the top 38. If you're a Jets fan,
I know what I'm doing.
What? Okay, go for it.
Sauce Gardner. I'm turning the card in.
Yeah.
Best corner for this draft. I don't care what Joe thinks of the corners he has. They don't have anyone half as good as this kid.
Okay.
He's an absolute superstar. Clean, great prospect out of University of Cincinnati. Tall, run, cover. His coverage numbers are absurd.
You can't wait till 10 to get him, correct?
No, he's going. It's funny you say that. If you would ask me 2 months ago, I'd be top 20.
Yep.
More I dig in, more I ask personnel people I trust. This kid's an absolute superstar. I'm telling you, you cannot. No offense to the kids, Javelin Guidry and all these guys. The Jets needed a stud. Okay, the you build with blue chip players.
Fascinating what came out of Robert Saleh's mouth this week. He talked to the media virtually. He's not here. The Jets spent a lot of time with many of these prospects at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. But he was asked, "Hey, how can you help your young quarterback?" And he said, "Well, you all might be thinking offensively. I can help my young quarterback by getting better defensively."
But did he elaborate how? In terms of giving more possessions, if they can get off the field, well, pass rush obviously. If you could get,
just playing overall better defense.
Well, also getting they need edge rushers.
Yes,
that to me is, if you and I sat down, the 3 of us, Ethan, and we'll get Chris in there.
Yeah, we could even make it the 4 of us.
We'll get
Chris Ovens.
Okay, give me your team needs. I look at it at getting elite. I want elite prospects. The Jets don't have an elite corner even close to it. You want to, and then you got to get an edge rusher. In fact, you give me an edge rusher and a corner. That's what I want.
First 2 picks. You would go defense.
I get the tight end later. Yes, the tight end later. Yeah.
WynnBET is now live in New Jersey, and they're bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. Get in on all your favorite teams, players, and sports, from boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport. They have what you need to win. Sign up today to receive a special offer, risk-free $500 sports bet. Download the WynnBET app now or visit WYNNBet.com to start winning. WynnBET, an official sportsbook and gaming partner of the New York Jets. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBET.com. Must be 21 or older and present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
Okay, so if you go Sauce, in your scenario, Adam Caplan, take Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati with the 4th overall selection. Who do the Jets come back? Who's going to be available there from edge rusher perspective at 10?
That's a good. I don't know yet.
Okay,
I don't know yet. I'm not sure on the edge rushers if they'll go as high. But my dream scenario for the Jets, I want an edge. I want a corner. I want an edge.
Okay.
I want an offensive lineman, a high-end offensive lineman in the first couple of rounds who could come in and play right away. I want. You know what? I want a second edge rusher. I want a rotation because they're running wide 9.
Yeah.
I think they are 43 front.
Yes. 43.
With the ends out. Yeah. You need 3 or 4 guys. We'll see with Folo at D tackle if they bring him back. Linebacker, they need more guys. There's no question. They need Jared Davis is up.
Yes.
They need more linebackers. Yeah. I mean, look, they've got a lot of work to do. Safety, as you mentioned, we don't know about Marcus May. Ashton Davis is to stay on the field. He's had some injuries. Talented, super athlete. Yeah, I mean, they got a lot of work to do.
Defense is going to look a lot different if just starting with Lawson. If he's back.
But again, he'll be back, but you just don't know physically where he'll be. Like, is he going to be at 80%, 60 or not? You just don't know. And talking to players over the years, it generally takes a year and a half to 2 years to come back fully from it.
Aiden Hutchinson of Michigan. We've been talking all week. You think he's gone after 2, whether it's 1 or 2?
I just don't think is. Okay, so let me put it to you. Let me give you the scenario. If Hutchinson and Sauce are there, the rule of thumb is you take the edge rusher first. Now, we could ask 32 teams. They may have a different answer because I don't know what Joe thinks on that. But I'm a huge Sauce fan. But, man, Hutchinson is such a good football player. And by the way, both are needs. I don't care what the Jets say at corner. You get you get a stud like Sauce Gardner, you're doing things because, man, if Lawson could come back at 75 to 80% of what he was,
right?
And because you got the Jets have how many picks do they have?
9.
Okay, they're in good shape there. You got a ton of cap space. You could take this thing to the next level. Here's a good example. Okay, Philly. Joe came in for 17, I think, with Philly. In 16, the Eagles were 7-9. Doug Peterson's first year.
Mm-hmm.
Roster was just average. They didn't go hog wild. They signed a ton of free agents. They were 10 for 10 on the free agents, Eric, and their draft was Carson Wentz before he tore his ACL. He was fantastic in 16. I'm not saying that the Jets are going to go from where they were to get in the Super Bowl.
No,
but to get to, remember, under 17 game season now, to get to 7, 8, or 9 wins, it's just hit on 3 or 4 draft picks. You can play right away. Do on free agency and you run because you got the quarter. I'll tell you what. I want to talk. Can we talk about Zach Wilson for a little bit?
Hey.
Second half of the season.
I was going to get there at some point.
No,
but
but
I didn't know you were
going
to take it from here.
I love that kid. He's got some juice. He's got some moxie. He's tough as hell. He's an athlete. He's got an arm. He just had to take a little bit off his fastball because that's what Joe Flacco told me many years ago. He struggled the first couple of years.
Changing speeds?
Yeah, because he had never been asked to do it.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to do it. And it just takes time. And you got to coach up. You got to coach guys up. And
you think he's going to look like a different player in year 2?
Yeah, because you're going to build off what he did in the second half.
Yep.
And he's being coached hard. I know that. Matt Cavanaugh's still there, right? I think.
Not. I think his contract expired.
Okay.
Rob Calabrese is
Calabrese, right.
And Calabrese did a great job, by the way, in Mobile, Alabama, where they had the staff elevations. Great opportunity for the Jets.
Yeah, and just the coaching is good. I like the staff. It just I know Jet fans are sick of being patient, but you know what? You've been patient long enough. You got a good GM who's really sharp and knows what he's doing. Just he's going to build it the right way. Because once he gets it, over like a 5-year period, he goes because they always Joe will tell you. I think he talked about. I know Scott Fitter, the GM of the Panthers, talked about this.
Yeah.
So he's about 3 years out.
Yeah.
This is Joe's 3rd draft, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. First one.
Second one with Saleh.
Right. Well, that's another important point because you have to learn their schemes.
Right.
That's what I was talking about to start this discussion you and I are having about them and what they need. Because every new staff they have to learn each other.
And look at what these guys did together last year. You mentioned how high you are on Zach Wilson, but you took Elijah Vera Tucker. Joe moved up to get him 14th overall.
And by the way, how about my guy, Eli Moore?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's going to
five touchdowns in 11 games.
He's going to be a stud.
Michael Carter in the 4th round.
Yeah, I know Joe. What's his? Joe said, "What's his nickname? What's it?"
Elijah Moore.
Yeah. What? No. Michael Carter's nickname. What do you call him? Young.
He called him Young MC.
Yeah. I didn't know that was the nickname. Okay. No, but I'd like to see them get size. Running back to complement him.
Okay.
Because I know why
you're always going to do that here with the system with the committee.
You have to. Yeah. You have to because.
But Carter's a key piece.
He's explosive. Yeah. Got to get him out in space. Yeah. No doubt about it. But need a tight end. That's the other thing, man. And I like what
you
Joe
could see
said.
them address that in free agency and the draft, correct?
Well, draft happens. If you don't dress it this year in the draft, you'll never do it. They're like 8 to 10 guys. But I like what Joe said, and that's important to note. I'm really glad he said this in his interview earlier this week with the media. My job is to help our quarterback.
Yeah,
and you do it by getting more pass targets, guys to throw to. You can't run the West Coast offense, which they run, without a stud tight end. You have to go get a tight end. You just have to.
Schultz out there from Dallas is going to have a lot of interest in the market, correct?
It's going to be a big number. Yeah. He's
multiple suitors.
His agent, Steve Carrick, is the tight end agent.
Yep.
He's got Zach Ertz. He's got Dulcich from UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
He get the tight end with the Browns. Used to be with the Falcons. His name is escaping me right now.
You're not talking about Njoku.
No. He's with.
But he's a free agent too.
No. The starting tight end who came from the Falcons. $10.5 million a year. Yeah, Austin Hooper, the Niners were going to actually sign, and they pushed the number up. Then he signed with the Browns. Yeah. So Austin Hooper's a good player.
Yep.
Who's he's been used more of a blocker more than I thought he would be. But getting back to the Jets, they have a lot of work to do. They have a lot of needs. There's no question about it. But Joe's positioned this thing to do it the right way, and the end game. It's all about the end game. What's this thing going to look like in a couple more years when they should be finished this rebuild? And then, because you got the quarterback, just building around him, as Joe said, and he'll do that. He knows. You don't know that. Every Jet fan knows that.
Yeah, ascension here. 2 wins, 4 wins. We'll see if they're playing meaningful games next December. Yeah. I think they should be in position to do that. Real quickly, as we head out, I want to get your thoughts on the top of the second round. We focus on 4 and 10, but being in that spot at the top of the second round with those 2 early picks, where might the depth fit the Jets quite perfectly?
There's some really good edge rushers in the second round, just based on personal people I've spoken with. Very deep edge rusher draft. Pretty good. Corner, good, solid. Safety, somewhat top heavy. Offensive line, good. Interior, good, where I think the Jets need some help. George Fant, by the way, is a great story. I didn't know he could do as well as he did, being pushed into service there.
He did tremendous.
There's a great story for a college basketball player. Was it George Mason?
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
I always get it wrong with him. Yeah. But I remember talking.
And he wasn't just coming off the bench. I mean, George Fant was putting up numbers at Western Kentucky.
And remember, he tore his ACL some years ago with Seattle. Yeah. You didn't know, but so yeah, I think they'll do fine in the second round. Yeah. Then the question would be, what's the starting 22 going to look like? Because obviously, Moore's going to be the starter.
Yep.
And Corey Davis will be back. He'll be a starter.
Right.
Tight end, you don't have one. Offensive line. So what does the offensive line look like? Vera Tucker starting at guard. Right tackle's open. Left tackle we know he's opening up. Robert said that it's open up between
George Fant, Mekhi Becton.
Right. And then the right tackle, the center is McGovern.
Connor McGovern.
Right. Who's just got to stay healthy.
And then right guard, again, LDT is
he's up.
Yeah. So
you need depth and you need to build it. So you need players. You need 2 or 3 more players. Okay.
All right. So listen, 2 consecutive years, Jets have addressed the offensive line in the first round.
It, man.
Could be a
Doesn't
third
have to be
consecutive
the first
year,
round, though.
but
doesn't have to be.
Adam Caplan says defense.
I would.
4 and 10, cornerback, edge. You can swap.
That's what I would
them,
do.
But,
that's what I would do.
Okay.
Hutchinson Shockley's at 4. I'm going there.
That'd be
a tough one between him and Sauce, man. That's a tough, because I'm a little bit higher than Sauce and probably most people.
Yeah.
Just because I've known about him since last fall. And everything I've heard has even been better.
He's going to have a big week. He's going to have a big week. And I'll tell you, Ike Ekwonu out of NC State, just listen to his media availability. Wow, he's an impressive dude.
Yeah, so Sauce. The analytics on Sauce are tremendous, because the analytic numbers, that's what helps him. So the tape matches up to the numbers, which is not always the case here.
Yep.
But we'll see how these guys work out.
Enjoyed it, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it, man.
WynnBET is now live in New Jersey, and they're bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. Get in on all your favorite teams, players, and sports, from boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport. They have what you need to win. Sign up today to receive a special offer, risk-free $1,000 sports bet. Download the WynnBET app now or visit wynnbet.com to start winning. WynnBET, an official sportsbook and gaming partner of the New York Jets. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in New Jersey. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.